Triple B's Tees offer custom shirts and logo designs for all your apparel and merchandise needs, offering a variety of shirts, hats, hoodies, tumblers, and koozies. Triple B's will work with you one-on-one to personalize and perfect your logo. With over 5 years in the business, 20 years in the sport, they live for Demolition Derby.
Chunk and his crew can bring your imagination to realization with zero limitations. So for all your badass tees, choose Triple B's.
Since Justin has been on board with us at Hard Nose, we have figured out how much Broadhead Decals means to the sport of Demolition Derby. His great quality parts are seen from coast to coast and everywhere in between.
But he can do more than just Derby products. Your everyday business may need some pep in its step with new banners or stickers. And just give him an idea and let him run with it. Whether it's business related or just want to look badass in the winner circle, let Broadhead Decals work for you.
We do. Ladies and gentlemen, Hard Nosed Derby Podcast. How was your trip?
Long and long and long. 1,925 miles. There and back. A little bit of sightseeing with the Deadwood.
Deadwood's cool.
Is cool.
Did you spin the wheel?
I did.
I know.
Yeah, you saw it.
Oh, man. You know, I feel like that I might have used my one wish from a genie. Because I was working whenever you all did that. And I was like, man, I really hope this motherfucker gets Mad Dog.
I did it. The weather, I left at 3:45 Tuesday morning. It was 73 degrees at my house. I thought, man, it's going to be premium.
Wrong.
I hit South Dakota and it went to 57. I thought, well, that's still cool.
Wrong.
I hit Rapid City. It was 38 and raining. So I got there 3 o'clock after the time change, and Mr. Justin Broadhead stayed in the same hotel right across the hallway. I got checked in, and hell, he was already gone. So I changed clothes and went straight to the show. Shit weather again on Wednesday. High of 38, raining, nasty, and it got better. So kind of how everybody went sightseeing, I think they waited till later on Thursday or Friday or Saturday. Did the Deadwood thing. Me and old Bill. And he pimped me the whole time. He's like, dude, you're going to get it. I was like, no, I'm not. I was like, but I'm not going to turn that shit down either. So we walk into Mr. Woo's.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, hey, isn't that where y'all went last year? He said, yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's the one with the wheel. I said, okay.
Oh, I know. The whole time he was out there, he was snapping me. Hey, where'd we eat at? Hey, where'd we go? I'm like, dude, you are making me dig.
We rolled in. He said, let's spin it. I said, all right. That piece of shit, he hits the button.
Wham, Ultra,
right
baby.
on Ultra. I was like, oh. He's like, all right, your turn.
Was it still a $1 bill?
Yep.
Fucking A.
Yep. And he told me, he said, you can get it hot or cold. If you land on Mad Dog, you can do hot or cold. I said, well, I want cold. He said, all right, hit it. I hit that son of a bitch, and then beep. I was like, oh, God. And she was like, oh. I said, cold. She didn't even have to ask me. And I forgot how nasty that shit was, from 30 years ago or 35 years ago when I would drink it. But it was shot, and went throw 20 in a
slot machine?
In a little slotty slot.
Did you have trouble finding a slot machine?
Nope. I didn't, dude. I had no clue. I had no clue that every bar is a goddamn casino.
Yeah. Deadwood's cool shit, though, right? I mean,
yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah. I didn't have enough time.
I
mean, if we were going to sit there and spend 3 hours or started way earlier in the morning and had several people drinking, I wasn't drinking. I was driving. Yes, I had 2 shots. I'm sorry. Throw 20 in a slot machine, won 135, and checked out, and we rolled back.
Yeah. See, whenever we went out, we spent about 4 hours there whenever I went. Like, 'cause I was,
Y'all got down there like 9 in the morning. Though.
yeah, I was feeling real good.
There was, okay, I was going to get on the bull. Well, that son of a bitch was covered in snow.
Right.
And I was like, no, I'm not going to do
Not
that
going to
today.
frost the balls.
Nope. And after my disaster Wednesday night, I wasn't going to put anything to chance. Let's put it that way.
So, and you got to do Rushmore,
Yep.
which is just as cool driving by it.
You are correct.
It cost you about $1 a minute.
Yep.
Because it costs $10 to park. You're only there for about 10 minutes.
Yep. That's about right.
Yep. Because we walked up there and I was like, oh, well, those are some faces and some rocks. That's neat. And then we drove off.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty
We
much.
got to see a whole shitload of Bigfoots.
Yep.
Big feet.
They were
Sand squanches.
what I enjoyed was on the way back, mule deer.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just up on kind of the mountainside.
You could
Because
see a bear.
I did not see a bear.
We got to see a bear whenever we went
I didn't
there.
go to, there was a lizard land or
Yeah.
some shit. I was like, no, I'm out.
Right.
No snakes.
You should have went and run go-karts with Bill. That shit was wild.
Where was that at?
It was in Rapid City. We went and did that. Them shits were fast.
Well, like I said, I tore my back up Wednesday night during the youth feature, and I utilized the hot tub and ibuprofen. But, dude,
The venue's badass,
the
right?
killer venue.
What'd you think of them seats?
Well, I didn't sit in a seat. I sat on a cushioned bar stool.
Oh, yeah, that's where I sat. You were in the exact seats that I was in. Well, when I wasn't up top.
Well, I didn't know it, but some Wyoming homies spent Saturday evening up there, and I didn't know it. Hey, man, you ain't pissed off? I was like, no, I'm just not sitting in one of them piece of shit seats or on the steps. I wanted my cushion, and that's kind of where I stayed.
That building is badass.
Oh, and I completely
And I hate to be this person, but it makes Blizzard Bash look stupid.
I completely understand where you said once you see the staging area and getting the congestion of cars out of the way,
Yeah.
dude, there's no street congestion. You got a big fucking parking lot
Oh, yeah.
that they're just lining them up.
Which I don't know what the total car count was. That has no bearing on what I'm about to talk about. But you could fit literally 700 cars back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you wanted to start lining them up around there.
Yep, if you stacked them right.
Yeah, if you wanted to start stacking around there and up into that top level, like you could just stack cars.
Well,
there.
that top level right there behind Holiday Inn, there was actually people pitting back there. I mean, that's where Marty and Brody Million pitted up there. Randy Maynard, he pitted up there. I mean, the Demels, they were up there too. Because all the lower parking, like right across the street, them shits were way full.
Yeah.
Compacts, trucks,
Right.
Gross. Stocks.
Like I said, I watched most of it today. And I watched a bunch of it through Snapchat. Because there was a lot.
Yep. TikToks.
I was concerned, before I talked to you, being no qualifying class. Mm-hmm. And that's something we've talked about, and not just with this show. We've seen it with a lot of them. You always like, no qualifying class. Where's that money going to go? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what I think the question comes to a lot of people's
It
minds.
did.
It did look like that they threw some of that toward the mod.
Yeah, $10,000 worth.
Yeah,
And there was only $8,600 in entry fees.
right.
So there's some people that where'd that $15,000 go? Well, there wasn't $15,000. And then you're locked in. You didn't that. I mean, that's all that qualifier is for.
Right.
That qualifier is to get your spot, just like it was in Blizzard Bash 15, 16, 17, 18. Once you are out, well, you're the first two finishers of the qualifier, and you're locked in for the Nationals for the next year. And then the first two teams out. You gotta
So
go back to the
now, is
qualifier.
everybody that run on the qualifying side, are they locked in?
Bingo.
They are.
Yep. They're locked in for Madison 26.
10-4. Because, I mean, you just, that's a question. Mm-hmm. I mean, it is. People want to know. They want to know.
Yeah.
Because I've seen the word accountability thrown around a lot
Yeah.
on the internet.
In my opinion, it's a lot different when it's one entity versus a group.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, 100%.
Because that group, that has some other shit going on.
Well, yeah,
and that
there's-
one entity, it's coming out of one.
Well, it's
entity's
just,
pocket.
it's one person's decision.
Correct. Still $250,000 in payouts.
Right.
That is so insane to say.
Yes. Well, and I mean, fuck it. I'm not gonna candy coat it. We're talking demo versus these. I'm gonna put in quotations because I don't want to go into the logistics side of it. Single-handed promoters. They're not single-handed. We know that, but there's not an organization.
Correct.
Do you feel that the organization side is held to a higher standard?
I'm not saying a higher standard. I think they're more under a microscope.
Okay.
If you pick up what I'm
No,
saying.
I'm with you.
One, because it's new.
Because I'm telling you right now, I don't have a dog in either fight. Like, at
Bingo.
all. Like,
Yes.
I'm Switzerland in this shit.
No, I mean, that
I
was
want to talk about it.
yeah, that was asked to me. We conversed. I'm not gonna lie. I conversed with Sam. Guys from We Crash TV.
Yeah.
We talked as well. I talked with Tix and Fatty. It's just different.
Well, it is. And I mean, the organization side of things has kind of broke the mold, per se, into something new.
Yes.
They've broke ground on something different. It's going to be held to a higher standard, I think. I really do. I think it is going to be picked apart harder than you're going to see the guy that, even puts on big shows. Talking, Tim Clark, Brad Bowman, Johnny,
Yes.
Sam.
Yep. Because it's something different.
Even, Derby icons,
It's not the run of the mill, hand you a check at the end when it's done and all that bullshit. When you're talking.
So kind of talking two different entities, really.
I am.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Same stage.
Right.
Same level, just same. You know what I'm saying?
Same, but different.
Yes.
I'm with you. Yeah. I mean, it would be like your local circle track affiliates
Correct.
compared to your NASCAR.
Yeah, I mean, even on circle track, you go run.
And I'm not talking like size level wise. I'm talking like
you go run $1,000 to win USRA show, and you can go 2 hours up the road, and it's an IMCA show, and it only pays $500.
right.
It's still sanctioned. It's same but different.
Right.
You know.
I don't know. It's just I've heard chatter.
Oh yeah.
Wanted to talk about it. Like I said, accountability has been thrown around a shitload. What's good for the sport? What's not good for the sport? Still haven't got a clear definition on any of that.
Just like we, when Sam was on last week. That's the famous saying, when the tide rises, the ships rise. And like he said, there's probably stuff that he said, I might not agree with something that happened in Bristol, and I might agree with all of it. And he said that's the same way with the demo guys. They might look at what I'm doing and don't agree with none of it or all of it.
Right.
But just because it's national level, it could still be separate but the same.
Well,
Because
yes.
it comes down to drivers are getting paid the fuck out.
Yes, and whether one or the other brings in corporate sponsors, whether it's Gold Rush that is the tipping point, or Demo 2, or Blizzard Bash, or Brad Bowman doing the crazy shit he's doing out in Utah, or Johnny.
Yeah.
That right there, in my opinion, is good for the sport.
Yes. Yes.
But it's a hell of a lot easier to talk shit on the internet.
Bingo. Bingo. Yeah. Yeah, and that's
Because in a perfect world, I mean, everybody would get along and everybody's ideas would be implemented. And
throughout the country.
Yes.
Piggyback off each other.
Oh, yeah.
Work off each other. But we know it's never going to be a perfect world when it comes to that.
Well, no, because at the end of the day, everybody's got to get that dick out and see whose is bigger.
Yeah. Yeah. Who can helicopter the most?
Yeah. Because sitting in my seat, I don't give a fuck.
and that was asked to me this week while I was out there by a couple different individuals, and I told them, I said, here's the deal. Our position in this sport, we have, I didn't really sugarcoat it, but I was like, here's the thing. We try to stay neutral when it comes to situations that are occurring right now.
Yes, but do we state our opinion? Fucking A.
Yes.
Does anybody care? Nah,
probably
not
not.
really. But they tune in every week and listen to it.
Yes. Yeah, so...
I just hope that whenever, I do state my opinion or whatever, I hope nobody feels like I'm trying to sway them on how they should feel
Correct.
about the situation.
Yes.
What we try to do is pull the information that we've got, facts. We try to get that to you. We try to break it down, analyze what we see going on, what we know from the backside of these things, where we talk to these guys, and we're not giving up anybody's personal information or any of that shit, but we do get to see stuff from a little different standpoint.
Unless you build your own opinion.
Right. Yes.
Okay, this is what we're getting told, this is what we're seeing, this is what we're getting told over here, this is what we're seeing now. We're going to tell you guys what we're seeing.
Yeah.
To the best of our abilities, and let you come up with your own.
We'll give you something to talk shit on the internet about.
There's a whole lot of that.
There is.
Without a doubt.
And that's not just this sport.
Oh, no.
Get on college football forums.
Oh, yeah.
Get on NFL forums. NASCAR. Professional bull riding. Anything that you want to look at on a professional level, there's always going to be somebody that's got something negative to say about it. And it's a hell of a lot easier to downplay something than it is to pick it up. And I don't know where as a society we took that turning point. But, man, people like failure.
It's like they get satisfaction out of seeing something fail. Mm-hmm. I told you so. I told you that shit wouldn't work.
And see, man, I am the opposite. Like,
how many times have we said we never want to see a promoter fail?
No.
I don't want to see a driver fail either.
No.
You go out and you bust your balls. You spend every fucking dime you got to get what you think is the best quality stuff that you can do.
Yes.
And drive it to the best of your ability. And
Build
get
to the
your
best of your
shit junked in the first night.
It sucks.
You don't want that. Even if I don't like you as a person.
No, dude.
I respect you for being a competitor.
I don't want to see anybody fail based off of their performance or what they've put into. If I want to honestly see you fail, I want it after you've got your successes, if that makes sense. Whenever you watch somebody win 14 times in a row, you know what? I'm ready to watch you get knocked off your pedestal.
Bingo. Start your downhill slide.
Yeah, or at
You've
least
got to the top.
Yes.
Here you are. Now you're going to come down here with the rest of us, motherfucker.
And I have wished ill will, toward people that they don't recognize who they stepped on the way up.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever they get pulled back down to that level, you gotta answer to those motherfuckers.
And that's usually when the butt hurtness begins.
Yes. And honestly, I think that's where a lot of the hatred and that shit starts. Because I'm not saying that I'm right and, the way I look at shit like that. But,
Yeah.
but I think that that's what happens.
You were at Bristol. I watched it.
I was in that motherfucker.
I was at Gold Rush. You watched it. There were some guys that were there with me in that arena. It was kind of a toss-up. Some of them were like, no, man, Bristol was just so much faster paced. I can't say that because we've said how many times the speed is different compared to being in person to seeing on television.
Yeah.
When you got bumpers hitting each other and you can feel the shit in your teeth,
Yeah.
and you can feel your seat shaking when they got put on concrete, you can't feel that on that pay-per-view.
No. Well, and that's what I tried to tell you about Bristol. And like I said, I watched Gold Rush.
Mm-hmm.
Outside looking in, the heats at Bristol were faster. It looked like. The destruction that come out of Gold Rush, holy shit.
Junk.
We'll start hitting right here, on Gold Rush, the show itself. And I'm going to do a little bit of comparisons. We'll talk because you watched it on pay-per-view Bristol and, all that stuff. The first heat out the gate. Okay, so I thought it was over within about the first 7 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was done. Boy, was I wrong.
You start a national level show with SSW and CPI.
Okay, so I knew that, there was going to be some hard hitters.
Oh, yes.
Just from who was on each team. Like you done knew. Jared, off the rip.
Yep.
Wide open.
Garrett Larson.
Just.
Josh Holt, no Sarnes.
Dude, had the upper hand at the beginning of that heat.
Yep.
100%. Dude, if somebody 7 minutes into that heat would have been like, where's your money at? I would have been like, well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're hosed. Yeah.
Wrong. Wow. And run it down to nothing. I mean, dude, there was so much junk on that track.
Mm-hmm. There was. I mean,
I'm not going to lie. I was sitting in my living room talking to myself. I was like, how the fuck are they going to fix this?
That was questioned a lot. I mean, if you sit there and look at it, Chaos. Team Chaos. Bernstein Brothers.
Right.
Their fourth man ripped the frame rails off. Of not a street stock car, of not a light wall car, a full tilt blown mod car. Ripped them smooth off with a pointy hanging off the front of it.
Gone. Take it out in two pieces.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Core support still attached to the shit. Yes. I mean, it was just garbage. That is driving with everything you have.
When Jared and Logan met, I was like, it made me lean forward on the couch. I'm not shitting you.
It hurt. I'm serious. Guys, it actually hurt to watch it with the sound. I mean, night two, Dubs, he doesn't know if it's broken, but he ate the steering wheel with the bridge of his nose. He can't touch it. I mean, his eyes weren't black or nothing, but he's like, dude, I don't want to touch my nose right now.
When they hit, I was waiting for one of them to be sitting there.
Oh, yeah. No. Back up. Both of you.
And I know that a lot of people that listen to this, they know these cars. They know what was there whenever they backed up and that wagon was still straight up front.
Yep.
That's something you don't see. You watch Bryce Lanew's wagon.
Mm-hmm.
It did not play that game.
No, it did not. It bent.
Everywhere. It rocked and no steering. I mean, immediate. Just. But whenever I've seen the shit that Jared builds.
Yes. Yes.
Because I'm sure that Logan probably listens.
He does. Sorry, Logan.
And I apologize in advance for this. I did not know that you built like that.
Yeah, correct.
Like, I did not do my homework, and I apologize for that now.
I did talk to him. I said, how bad? He said, fucking bad. And I was meaning his cut list.
Right.
He said, yeah, it was bad. That was some of that gray area playing, especially on the rear of that wagon. You know, how the gas tank protector and all that stuff was kind of played out. You can go on Track Shot. There's videos of it out there. I'm not throwing Logan out under the bus at all.
Well, I'm just telling you.
He's smart.
Well, I'm just telling you, like, from the stuff that, I knew that he was a builder. I knew he was a driver. That was something I'd never seen before. I mean, give me another example of a wagon you've seen.
Take a head-on shot from an 03 and newer?
Yeah, like that, and brush it off. Like, because you don't see that.
I can't off the top of my head. I'd have to do a whole lot of thinking.
I mean, everybody knows that a wagon, you drive those backwards. The back end is where the real estate's at on those.
Yep.
Not is. Fuck it. Cut the back of it off.
That was just used for defense.
I don't even need that shit.
Yeah, I don't need that shit back there. The pace was set right off the rip. And like I said, when you get teams like that are your opener for the night, now, in my opinion, the rest of them are having to play catch up because they don't want to be outdone.
Well, nobody wants to start that second heat as a bumper car match.
Bingo. And then what happens is that you run the stock teams after it, and they try to drive them the same way.
Well, they don't want to let the fans down.
No. And they're annihilating. I'm talking annihilating old irons all week.
I've never in my life wanted to own a dump truck full of steering parts.
Correct.
In my life. And just back up there in the middle of the Gold Rush parking lot.
And just dump that shit. Let them fight over. We'll just let them go.
$150, you come pick out what you need.
Oh, my. Well,
like a reverse pick apart.
Even on the national side, there was people ripping the bolts out of the frame rails for the steering boxes.
Yeah.
Ripping, not just pulling, not just moving, ripping the bolts out of the rails that had bumper brackets and plates going down the side. They were pulling them out.
I've just never seen so many. And, dude, the amount of badass transmissions that were out there.
Yep.
You talk about the transmission game in the last 5 years.
You can't. I can't. I mean, because you think about this. Farther out west, it's a little bit different. Mm-hmm. You got some Devil Dog trannies out there. You've got some Joker trannies out there. You got some Garrett Larson trannies out there. You got some GHE stuff out there, too. So, I mean, everybody's got their preference, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
But they were just going through them.
Oh, dude.
Breaking them in half.
Yeah. Because it wasn't internal part failure.
No, it was external of metal can only take so much shit before it explodes.
Yeah, and you're talking fully braced.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The inertia itself right there that is breaking cases and shit inside of protectors.
And we're not talking regular factory Turbo 400 cases.
No.
We're talking aftermarket Reed thick cases with steel bells that are just blowing apart.
Mm-hmm.
Like on the track apart in pieces of torque converters and pumps and fucking
sliders,
output shafts, input shafts, just everywhere. And not junk parts either.
No, that's what I'm saying.
You know, we were talking about denting a big spline there that he annihilated out there. There was more, the exact same drive shafts that was out there that broke in 2 or 3 pieces. Jared Johnson was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in 3 pieces. So, I've said it. The cars are too fucking hard.
Oh, dude.
We've talked about that. Yeah. The cars are too hard.
But
to get that many run days, you've got to.
But if you want the show,
that's
what it's got to be.
Yep.
Because, well, we watched the stock cars. They were literally putting latex Band-Aids.
You can. There's only so much shit you can do to a stock car, and we understand that. But when it's bending and you pull it down, you put your plates on it, and you can see everything flexing in different places.
Yeah.
Not even like a bend, not like it's just snooting. I mean, you can just kind of watch it absorb and almost become what I would say almost like a spring.
Yeah.
Like Dave Burns' car last year at State Fair, every hit, you can just watch shit move that probably shouldn't be moving.
Right. Firewalls. Dude, so many twisted up firewalls. Whenever Track Shot, was going out there and We Crash TV and, doing their run around of the, the debris and stuff, dude, twisted up firewalls. I mean, shit that didn't look like firewalls anymore.
He didn't even look like a wall anymore.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's folded up like an accordion.
Yeah.
Dude, the show, I mean, we can sit there and talk about this. I mean, the show was absolutely insane. There was upsets, in my opinion. There was straight up dirty ass dog fights that just went as long as it could possibly go.
I mean, I hit on Bryce.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was doing everything he could.
Oh, yes. We've never said that Bryce is not a driver. That bitch can drive.
He had a pretty good teacher.
Yeah. He can drive. He never loses his cool.
Nope.
And night number 2, I thought they were hosed. I was like, well, boys, you're going to be out. And he stuck in it and just waited for one little fuck up and capitalized. And there was a lot of that capitalization throughout the entire week. Team Octane goes out first night, wide open. We had Kyle on a couple weeks ago, and I'm sorry, guys, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but his new motor is fucking retarded to the extent of 5-speeding it, hear him over everybody. No shit's given. None at all.
Yeah,
0.
He don't care.
Oh, no. Colton. He was a very good addition to that team as well. Jeremy Blake in a wagon. Jeremy won night 2 for him. Pretty much by himself. Does Neil carry... Is he playing it back in his mind and said, I lost that by myself? Neil was the last one left for his team off Derby tees. Jeremy was the last one. Jeremy didn't have any steering.
Right.
Neil did. Neil made one slip up, just enough to get in front of Jeremy. And Jeremy, that old heavy 9,000-pound wagon or however much it was, just enough to hold him against the wall and just leave it in gear with a little bit of RPM and white smoke in the tires where he could not move. But they had a whole lot of shit that they had to do after night 2. I mean, just stupid shit. Like, Dylan Conkle, after night one, he thought everything was good. He goes in, he starts fixing his car, goes taking on a little drive, no transmission. Ruh-roh.
Yeah.
And by the time they realized it, there was no way he could have got it changed out. So, but that was one of the differences, because it's usually, if you don't make it on the track, you're out.
Right.
That was not that way. Sam said that in a driver's meeting. Chris said it too. I was standing right there when the question was asked. They said, okay, if we ran on night one, if we can't get back in time to the tech barn at 2, are we out? And they said, no. You'll get it back in the morning, but you're not going to get to work on it at night. It's got to go back to the impound, and then you'll get it at 7 o'clock the next morning, and then you do what you need to do. Michael Patton, off party mode, had a brand new motor, goes out Tuesday night, and it's got a tick. Not horrible. It was on the bottom end, probably valve stuck, something like that. His motor builder, he called his motor builder. He said, well, what'd you turn it? He said, I ain't even run the fucking thing yet. He said, I haven't loaded it. I haven't got to run a show.
Right.
So it didn't do what he was wanting it to do. So guess what? Next motor, he put a motor in it, pulled it all out, pressured that, put it in, pressured that shit back in. And at 1:35 is when I walked away from his tent, and he had to have it back in there at 3 o'clock. It didn't have the fenders were gone. He was having to get them back and go to the headlight pockets and try to re-weld all that shit. They hadn't fired it up. They did all that within an hour and a half to get it back. And then I'll be son of a bitch, he didn't end up on his lid 2 nights in a row. Those little things can turn the tides.
Oh, yeah.
Because he took off after the 2 times he was on his lid. The first night that he got flipped, it was still running. It went on its top and then kind of went on its side, and he never shut it off. It ran the whole time. They flipped him over, good to go, and he's all, whoa, whoa. And he's like, yeah, I'm good. That's Patty, though.
Right.
Them dudes just don't give a shit. Dude,
it was crazy. Like, as soon as I watched the heat draw thing, that playtime and RPM, I was like, oh no. I was like, man, so they're really going to bust their cherry.
Right here, right now, in front of God and everybody.
Yikes.
Against them dudes.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to say this. Derek Creetlow has kind of flown under the radar. You know what I'm saying? When he was with the Quas and stuff at Blizzard Bash, Derek could just kind of low fly zone. He can kind of pick and choose. They didn't usually jump. Shit.
We're going to show him who the
boy
is.
Now they're all going after him. But when you got guys like Cody Knuth, who just is a fucking wheelman.
Yep.
And lays shots and don't care, and that whole team isn't under the radar now.
And we got to see some bad shots.
Oh yeah,
that after Siopa's team, it wasn't Siopa's team,
Iron City.
Mm-hmm. He drove right up the back of that wedge.
Yes.
Wiped the front wheel off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as he backed up, was like, shh.
Yes.
Why did I do that?
Like, I shouldn't have done that. The stock cars is what kills me. Okay? So you're thinking about this, but you said it a couple episodes ago. What if Team 406 and Team HYB draw each other?
Well, we've seen it. They get it.
The only cool thing about it is they did it for the championship.
Yeah.
For the qualifying. That is what the cool shit was. But that team's a little bit different. When we saw HYB last year, there's a little girl by the name of Ullman on that team now. She drives like their brothers. wide open 6-0 crazy headers going.
Well, and anybody that didn't get to see that, dude, they worked their way from way underdog starting out.
Oh, shit.
Come out 2 cars down.
Yes.
And pulled that off.
Yeah. Yes. And got some shit fixed. And I know Brooke said thank you to my husband. And Eric was like, well, it's going to be a shitty ride home regardless.
Right.
Whether, he said whether I win or lose, I mean, the ride home is going to suck. But junk.
Is that when you have papers written up? Just ready.
Yeah.
I want a temporary divorce.
Yeah, for like 2 weeks. You can come back into 2 weeks. But sky high steering on the national side of that bone stock, they weren't done after they won, so they went and junked each other.
How cool was that?
That was cool. Because I didn't know it was coming. They backed off, and I was like, oh, they're good. And
wrong.
No, fuck no. They were cutting donuts and head on with the other teammate, and I mean, just junk shit. And they let it go on for a couple minutes. And then they threw the red flag, and everybody was happy.
It is pretty cool to see that, though.
I was like, man, y'all got a lot of car left. No, not so much now. I mean, a couple of them could probably be fixed, but I mean, they were snooting them.
But I mean, it's cool to see, just a little bit of that fuck it.
Mm-hmm. That's what it was. Fuck it. How long are they going to let us do it? And I mean, they were slinging them around. What's crazy is I'm not going to say that those guys bagged because they didn't, just because of the level of competition. They drove harder on each other than they did against the people they were running against.
But look at what they were in. The money that was paid out wouldn't have bought the cars.
No. Not even close. No. I'm not saying that they were driver quality cars, but even on the bottom end, let's just talk about this. A bottom end of a wagon that's a rusted out piece of shit, no floors in it, you're not getting under $2,500.
I mean, you got your guys that slide in there and get one every once in a while, but dude,
good ones, 3,500 to 5Gs.
Yeah.
And they had 4 of them.
Uh-huh. That's why whenever I've had a couple people from this area approach me, hey, let's, nope.
Pass that on down the line.
I'm out.
Yep.
Double it and give it to somebody else.
Dude.
And then let's jump into the wheel, man.
That played out different than I thought it was going to be played out.
You're telling me.
Some of it was right about where I figured it would because you get enough loose screws in there with precision guys that'll make the precision guys drive. I'm not going to say they don't drive hard anyways, but that makes them drive a little bit harder. Get them thinking a little faster, trying to look ahead.
The top 5 looked a hell of a lot different than what I thought it was going to.
Yep. That's correct.
And that's not cutting anybody down.
Mm-mm. No, I had no idea that Larry Steinbeck was going to be out so quick. I had no idea that Reed Steinbeck was going to be out so quick. Leighton Shepard. Because the next thing I know, I'm watching a shit right in front of me, and I look down, I'm like, holy shit, there's like 80 y'all down there just in a big pile.
Yeah.
No steering, no whatever. Demels doing Demel shit.
Mm-hmm.
Ciopa doing Ciopa shit. Skylar Hopkins doing Skylar shit.
And there's a lot of people who don't know Skylar.
I bet you they do now.
On that level.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking shit or nothing because, Skylar, he's good shit.
The first time he goes to Blizzard Bash, he gets on his fucking lid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who's this dude? Then you start paying attention. And then we got to see what he was doing in Macon. And he was doing it there too, but he was more of the aggressor.
Yeah.
Then he was the chaser instead of the chasee.
Yeah.
And just, dude,
and his shit's right.
It's right. I watched it get towed out.
Yeah.
He did some control arm delete action. He broke an axle did what he could do with one wheel as long as he could.
Right.
But when you're one wheeling against a Steve Siopa, an Eric Diemel, a David Diemel,
Ralph Legis,
Parker Lazenby, John Mavis,
yeah,
you can only hold out for so long. Parker.
You think John had a target on his back rolling into this one?
John and I talked Friday night.
Oh, you actually got him to talk to you?
I did. Not on the microphone.
Oh, I know.
He won't do that because I pimped him again. I asked him again.
We might just have to show up because I need some parts and shit.
Just show up to the shop.
Yeah.
So, John is top 2 Unified Point Series. Okay. Don Santel is leading it. I said, can you catch him? He said, the only way I can catch him. And he brought 2 cars. He took a stock car.
Right.
We'll talk about that. He won that. And then he had the wheelman car. He said, the only way I can do it is if I win at least one of them and Butch goes out pretty quick. I haven't seen the Unified Point standings right now, but it's got to be super fucking close because Butch went out pretty quick. I'm going to say one of the first 5 out.
Yeah.
Something like that. And I think John wheeled it down to 5th.
Yeah.
But he could only get his best finish, and that's what he could take. It was big enough over the 2,500, so I don't know if it was a double points or not, but as soon as Mark gets that stuff out, it's got to be close. But that crazy bastard, think about this. He went to Bristol, right? Mm-hmm. Whitaker Salvage, NLR. He takes 2 cars to Gold Rush. He's going Blizzard Bash.
Oh, no. Did you see his car?
Yeah. Yeah. He's going Blizzard Bash. Crazy. Crazy. He ain't right.
No.
And it's not like the dude's got a whole lot of time on his fucking hands anyways.
Well, that's passion.
Yeah.
That's that heart, you know, that drives the sport.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have to come back to Gold Rush. Because
I want to give it up to Marty and Brody. Brody, they both took, old school Mopars, all in your heart, And I'm going to say this right now. A lot of people didn't know it. But Brody's motors, he kind of runs the wired classes up there in Wyoming. Casey Johnson delivered him a 406. He said the kid works his nuts off, balls out all the time. He said, I'm going to give him, I want him to have a little bit more fun, to be able to turn it up a little bit. And turn it up he did. Marty, same way I was pimping Marty. He got a stick already, and he's crawling under the acid in his car. And I was like, what are you doing? He was like, you know what I'm doing. I was like, I know exactly what you're doing. I was like, but you don't need that. And he said, why not? I said, you drove it off the trailer in reverse. That's all you're going to do. He said, you watch. He said, you want to bet? I said, no, I'm not going to bet because you just do it just to fucking beat me. And that was the smartest I've seen Marty drive. He was still hitting hard. Don't get me wrong. But there was no wasted nothing. Right. I mean, it was wheel shots or 45s, even in reverse. That 7'9" son of a bitch. I still can't see. He's got to be able to sit on the package tray. But them 2 boys, what they did and what they took, I give it up to them. Yeah. It was fun to watch.
And then Will Steinbeck.
That's right. Will be yours.
Yeah.
Rocked out the Hard Nosed Derby podcast stickers on the hoods. Jared Alvord, Will Steinbeck, Jonathan Kruger, Cody Carroll. 3 Camaros and a W body. And this is what a lot of people don't know. So they go get their cars Saturday morning, right? Drive it over, starting to work on them. Cody looks down. Case is broken on the transmission. Scooter. Me and Scooter were talking, and he said, dude, we just saw it 5 minutes ago. I said, you ain't got time now. So you want to talk about some redneck ingenuity shit, right? They took the big 2.5-inch toe straps and ratcheted it up to try to help take the pressure off around the door bars or the window bars and tape the shit out of it. He had transmission the entire show. Like, I talked to Cody afterwards, and he was like, somebody was just looking out for me. He said it was like it was in all the cards, no matter what happened. It was their time to win it, and they won it.
And you tell me right now, you're thinking about that the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
You're running every hit.
Yes. Yep. And I told Cody, I said, dude, if it was me, I would have them push you out. Because the track was super hard and super fast, but it was decently rough. He was worried about the bounce. And I told him, I said, that's the deal. I said, if you're going to do it, go take somebody out when you're going to do it. When you can feel it slipping, 45 one of them W bodies in the left front strut, an axle, push them up against the wall. And if you can't move after that, guess what? Break your stick off. They're not going nowhere. If you're going out, you're taking somebody with you.
Right.
He didn't have to because Jonathan Kruger drove like a maniac on Saturday night. He said, I've got to redeem myself. He said, I was being too cautious in round 2. He said, I drove like shit. And he said, I've got to make it up. Making it up, he did.
I still liked Will's air cleaner.
It's bad when somebody says, in a compact car, I have too much motor.
Yeah.
He's like, I have way too much motor for even what those guys get to do to those things with all the plates and bullshit. Oh my, that thing is so rowdy for a 4.3.
Yeah.
So rowdy. But no, they all drove killer. Like I said, all 4 of them. Stock class, sky high steering. You guys killed it. HYB, you killed it. Everybody else killed it. National side, not for hire. When they went through their heats, what they had to do, I was doubting them on round 3. You know, because round 2, their shit was pretty hurt. Daryl's wasn't bad. I think Daryl's might have motor wouldn't fire or something. You know, Devin Groneveld, he lost every part of suspension off one side. And, you know, Octane goes through and they're to it. So I thought, well, Octane should win this. And they didn't. That was that. If I had to put money on it, I would have lost. And then going against RPM for the championship, I was like, well, you know, their whole, what they did in a 24-hour period from what they look like in round 3 to what they look like for the championship. Oh my.
It's insane to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I don't know, it's just wild to me.
Yes. But like I said, killer show.
Like I said, we're gonna have to come back to it. Like you don't know this. There's more to be talked about.
Well, I told you before we started, I was supposed to come home and give you something.
Right.
I just got a text. Did you sack tap Steven? No, Justin, we didn't. I didn't even actually think about it. But
maybe next time.
Hey, guess what? Blizzard Bash 2024.
Yep. If I'm working out there in Lawrence, I'm going.
Well, guys were asking me, are you going to go? Are you going to go? Are you going to go? I got a room. You crash. All you got to do is a little bit of cooking. You're good to go. And after this week, I said I wasn't leaving for a month, except to go to work or come here. That thing, we have talked, that's a different look than what we're used to seeing. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Usually people are knocking on down the door to try to be the first one signed up, selling it out in a minute. There's 2 other venues going on right now.
Yeah.
All within 6 weeks, roughly. We were just talking about John. John's going. Is John going on the mod side? No, he's not. We've got buddies that are going to the street stocks. Or what do you call it? It's not a street stock, isn't it called a super stock or some shit?
Yeah, whatever.
As Austin said, super mods. One change, just on the compact side, who's won the last couple of years? Minnesota Madness. They ran the stock qualifying side at Gold Rush.
Yep.
In big cars. And drove them the same fucking way that they did compacts.
Oh, Blizzard Bash will still be a show.
Always will.
Action starts out there, Thursday?
Dudes are leaving tomorrow.
Yep.
Let's just go down it. Blizzard Bash National Modified list. NLR Derby parts. That is a different look because that is some guys who have ran with Crazy Eye ones the last few years.
Yep.
You've got Joe Molman, Jerry Lyerly, James Kitchell. And then Crashing for Kids Cancer. That's a completely different look because that is half of the Crazy Eye ones with Lane and Justin Frericks, Jamie Criddleball, and Aaron Harrington. OG. Hill Job Graphics, Wholesale Batteries Incorporated. Jimmy Johnson, Levi Markley, Brody Brown, Derek Worth.
Now see, that's new.
Way new. Derek, who has ran with usually mod singles.
Right.
Out there. Everybody knows, wow. Wide open, don't give 2 shits, will lay anything out. You don't care. And look at there.
Team Kansas, you ever heard of them?
A couple times. And that one's just a no.
My dude.
Yeah.
Chad,
Chicken.
Yep.
Barry and Brent. FYF, Matt Schilling, Lane Hall, Justin Olson, Tylen Idle. Look at that next list.
No namers.
Jason Dials, Dan Mars, Nate Pasick, Tim.
I really like watching Dan. I do. Because if you look up fuck it
in the dictionary, Dan's face is right there.
Yeah, right there.
With
right
an X factor right next to his face. Yeah. Sometime in that, well, okay. We talked to Jason this spring, and we knew Jason on the national side, and they backed down to the limited weld,
Right.
or I'm sorry, light weld, and he really enjoyed that build a little bit better. Well, when you look at the rule changes and shit that was made, I think he just was like, well, fuck this.
Yeah.
If we're gonna do it, let's just do it.
Yeah.
Run for all the money.
Well, then why wouldn't you?
Yes. Cowboys from Hill, Jace Crow, Austin Bentley, Anthony Rose, and Dalton Rose. And then you got the OFT back.
Yep.
Blake Thompson, Colin Sleazer, Darren Burke, Chuck Billman, and then Black Iron Motorsports, Mike Gaines, Zane Klinger, Casey Struckman, Eli Johnson. I didn't see any Cody Gaines on there.
Right.
Dude, and I know this isn't your favorite class.
Right.
Coming up. But you want to talk about a stacked ass field of weld compacts?
Well, what's crazy is a lot of these dudes run around here. Mm-hmm. A lot.
A lot. We did. There's Got a team out there rocking some door wraps,
Yep.
provided by us and
Mr. Justin Brown.
Mr. Justin. You've got Hill Job Graphics. They went out last year. A little bit different team look. Andrew Hilgebrink, Ryan Sparks, Cody Stout, Adam Halbert. LAGNAF. Dude. These are some guys right around us.
Yeah.
One of them is a little farther away. Trent Llewellyn, Ronnie, and Patrick Pickens and Dakota Lopez. We saw Dakota this year at Salisbury. Wide open, drives like Ronnie, drives like Tyler, drives like Patrick, drives like Trent. He's a good fit for those guys. Dude, BAS. Landon Worthy, Tommy Bedsworth, Kyle Wordenhausen, and Derek Wordenhausen.
What's crazy about this? Did all these dudes just throw their names in a hat?
And just whatever team you drew, that's what you rolled with. Last minute is Nick and Josh Bergen. Cody, Cody Hossey, Dalton Alwas, Team HWH, Cody Bedsworth, Tyler Pickens, Blake Holtz,
Big D.
Back to Blizzard Bash after a few years, Big D. We know what all four of those dudes can do on an individual setting.
Yep.
And we've seen what they can do
They've
in a two-man.
been on the track together so much.
Yep.
If these dudes can get their shit together and run as synced up
as a unit.
Yes. Because they know how each of them drive.
Oh, yeah. The last time Blake was there, Blake run it down for the team, and they took second.
We've seen
Jordan at that year. Jordan Tobin had he had a little bit of issue. I think Big D had a little issue, and I think Reno had a little bit of issue. I'm gonna probably cut some shit, but these are the four of the baddest dudes in our area in a compact.
Yep.
I don't think I'm gonna catch that much shit because I think a lot of people will agree with us. But dude, look at there, 448 Designs, Jeremy Grave, Tyler Ford, Ben Smith, and Jake Flatter.
Yep.
Oh.
Plum crazy. We've seen them before.
Oh, Tracy Miller, CJ Schlosser, Corey Chandler, Gus Farthing, SAF,
Jeremiah Adams,
Travis Schultz, Rich Cummins, and Randy Maslowski, who was just on the stock show at Rapid City in the front-wheel drive Cadillac Eldorado again. Misfits. Thad Church, Ryan Schoening, Clinton Collins, Richard Michael. NPS, Justin Main, Wyatt Rada, Matt Drews, Tyler Wilden. And then, looky here, ZFG, Brady Smith, Calvin Deeds, Dawson Mack, Justin Lehner. KRS Motorsports, you've got Michael and Stephen Clay, Jared Revel, Cody Smith. MMO.
Yep.
Greg Neal, Wesley Jordan, Justin Bockham, John Petrosky. Those guys, you're talking Father Stun. Wesley usually runs with the BAS guys around Lake of the Ozarks.
Yep.
And then you turn around and you hit Luminasty again. Brady Bratz, Brennan Kerr, Calvin Leonard, Lane Poor. Those are a couple of the guys that I know. At least one of the guys ran on with Clayton at Spring X. And that dude, he don't give two shits either. LMMF, Jamison Hunt, Sammy Messick, Levi Bauer, Blaine Schoenfeld, and then you've got GH Graphics. Trevor Mulder, Eric Mulder, Case Hayes, and Wyatt Fink. And I'm going to say this right now. If you've paid a bit of attention to any of the shows from the Southern Number 9 tour this year over in Illinois, Wyatt Fink was on a fucking roll.
Yeah.
Clayton Fernandez was supposed to be on that team. The world knows Clayton has spent pretty much most of the summer and the fall building some cars that were going to Gold Rush.
Yep.
He said, what a perfect what more perfect fit? Why? I want you to take my spot. Well, I was like, game on, buddy. So Wyatt's going, his first big stage is there, and he's ready to fuck shit up.
You know what's weird? We're missing somebody on that list.
We are. We're missing some OMM boys.
Yeah.
I can't remember when the last time they weren't there. I know one of them's going to take a trip to Florida.
Yep.
In February. I know he's on that list. I ain't right sure if two of them Wood boys ain't on that list.
Well, here's the class that I'm ready for.
Super stocks?
Yeah.
We've got buddies. We've got a lot of buddies on this thing.
We do. And we're going to get to see some new teams that,
Yes. That we've kind of talked. You get kind of this rule set, and there's guys that just want to do just a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be like, you know what? I like this, but fuck it. Let's move up.
Right.
So you're going to get I think you're going to get a lot of transitional guys that come here.
Yep.
And then next year you'll see them just start kind of gradually going up. I mean, DMI Outlaw Graphics, Bobby Brock, which we've seen there a lot, Tim Fritzen, Charlie Finkbeiner, Joe Brown, Bandits Mod Shop, Braden, Garrett, Ryland Bandit, and Preston Curtis. Kings of Crash, you got Shelby Burton, DJ Adamson. Those DJ was on Team Metro.
Yep.
At Bristol.
And we seen where they went.
Yep. Double duty like a son of a bitch right there.
Yep.
Ken Dixon and Trent Fry. SCK Boys. Jacob Byerly, Chad Reed, Garrett Randalls, Matthew Parton, King's Recycling, Ian King, Evan Slater, Sean Buchanan, Hunter Zolkowski, WFO, Tate Menhusen, Alex Davis, Greg Heckel Jr., Scott Engel, Show Me Nation. Mullet Man, right there, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Caleb Myers, Andy Myers, Adam Fleming, Cody Buckner.
And Caleb's he's no spring chicken whenever it comes to Blizzard Bash.
No. He won singles in 23?
Yeah, yes, I believe so.
Yeah. Elliott Motorsports, Jeremy Elliott, Jake Elliott, Sean Elliott, Lauren Eckhoff. Team K&N. Lance Diepenbrock, Josh Turner, Shad Turner, Colby Black. You know a couple Turners, there's going to be at least one wagon.
Yep.
And if I had to put a $100 bill on it, there are going to be two wagons.
Yep.
573, buddy.
And then my boys.
That's right.
I'm telling you, I don't know what motors are in these cars.
573 Wrecking Crew. Tyler Ray, Henry Ray, Cody Whittle, Joey Prater.
Gonna be doing a little bit of that 3-pedal life, baby. With some of that Mopar Magnum motor.
Well, one of them does not have a 3-pedal life.
Right.
He did some upgrading.
Uh-huh.
And he said, if I'm going to upgrade, I got a Snapchat that had a big sticker on top of that transmission. I said, what is that? He said, well, I figured if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it how it needs to be done. So, dude, whole shit. Collier Performance.
Yeah.
Nick Semp, Donathan Lundgren, Lane Impinson,
Mike
Mowry. Oh.
448.
Russell Bauer, Caleb Reed, Caleb Davis, Willie Garland.
Top notch.
/ Pedkey Built. All these dudes that said nothing but good things going to Bristol. If anybody had an issue, guess what?
Bill Miller.
Bill Miller hooked them the fuck up.
Yes. I still give that dude props.
Yes. Now we're going to get to see him. We've seen him put on some shows.
Yep.
Now let's see what he's going to do, because he's going to do it with the one and only Dylan Simonton, Brandon Palmer, and Trevor Petke.
Highwayman.
Austin Johnson, Jerry Lyerly, Sean DeWitt, Tyler Hill, and their shit looks right, buddy.
You know, Jerry's really figuring TikTok out.
And he's always got Sean pulling it out. This is the kind of the weird one right here. It's loud and heavy, right? Well, 448 Designs' very own Jacob Priestman isn't getting even to run his own team name.
Right.
Because this was one of those kind of a quick fill in.
This is your team of misfits.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is what I call that.
Yes, Dan Wells, Derek Court, Jacob Priestman, Jeff Court, and then the nobodies.
And I've seen Derek Court's car.
Yes, I have.
Oh. And you know, Priestman's.
Oh yeah,
ain't gonna be no joke
yeah,
either.
you know it's gonna be a slick bitch.
Which I love to see Tony out there at Bristol.
Yeah,
But I would have loved to have seen him
correct.
in this.
Yes. Yeah.
And Court wanted him.
Yeah.
Just a little hump placement kind of didn't play in the favor.
Correct. And, you know, I had talked to Tony. He had every intention. He was going to go by himself.
Yeah.
Until he just got so overwhelmed with what had to be done to go by himself. And then, Rick Clark, that shit happened. And without a doubt.
No.
Whew. Nobodies. Bailey Bellafly, Andrew Johnson, Zach Anderson, and Alex Coe. Zach's car looks good.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you that shit right there, because you're getting to see a lot of guys you've never seen
No.
together.
There's 16 teams.
Yeah.
And you're right. We haven't seen those. Because going into the limited world, there's 10 teams, okay?
Right.
Some of these dudes I've seen personally. Some of these dudes I've never even thought about hearing of.
Right.
The showstoppers, Adam Kaiser, Michael Maxton, Levi Beechner. That name comes up. Brian Ray. PB's Playhouse. Brendan Alvarez, Cody Hoffert, Trey Grismore, Tanner Davis. Fully Loaded is Jason Fisk, John Reseda, Clint Wolf, Brett Robinson. Hilljob Graphics, Quentin Tim, Anthony Warda, that's a name, Nate Arajo, and Dakota Fitzgerald. FBI.
We know these guys.
Is he going? I haven't seen anything on Snapchat.
I haven't either.
Skylar Hopkins, Walker Henderson, Spencer Harrington, Matt Jenkins. We know what those dudes bring to the table.
Yeah, because like
On this
Spencer
build.
and Walker, they're no joke.
No, fuck no. No.
And we know Skylar's no joke.
Yep. Now, Most Wanted, this is kind of a team, what I would say is almost like some Central Kansas All-Stars. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? When you put Nick Urlacher, Jonte Green, Gary Russell, and Richard Nice together. I'm not sure on Richard, but I know what Gary and Jonte and Nick bring. And it's holy shit. They
Because
don't
it's
care.
not like this is their first big stage.
No. KB Weld and Fab. Connor Kelly, Dustin Looney, Storm Mattis, Brent Palmer. Looky there. Outsiders.
Teddy's daddy.
That's right. Tiny. Sean Pryor, Landon Pryor, who have moved to Missouri
Right.
from Ohio, and Randy Moore. KTBF. Justin Kitchler, Cody Hobbs, Cody Harris, Nathan Sharp, and then MAGA. Oscar Macias, Jason Booker, Liberty Booker, Kyle Lopez.
So it's so weird not seeing Caddy Nation on that list.
Team Ass Kickers, not on that list. Because even They were PB's Playhouse last year.
Yeah.
Still had Brent Stringer. Brent's not on that team. So, I mean, there is a lot of different outlook, different faces, different team names, different team member combinations.
Yes.
That's just not really normal for Blizzard Bash.
I'm just telling you, I know that, I mean, we've got buddies running, throughout the whole event.
Oh, yeah.
I am so ready for that super stock or street stock or whatever.
Yes.
That's what I'm ready for that.
I don't think we can call that shit street stock. I really don't think so.
Street mod.
What'd you say?
Street mod.
Yeah, oh shit. This is going to air.
Well, it'll be showtime.
Yeah, because the dirt is going in today.
Yeah, dude, track looks great.
The walls are holy shit
Thick.
and tall. Dude. I even said it. I haven't been out 2017 was the last time I've been out. So we're talking 7 years.
Like, I know I can't be there Saturday because I'm shooting trap.
You're doing what?
I'm going to go shoot trap.
Where?
In Shelbina.
Oh, God. But, dude, it's the normal. Guess what? If you can't be there, and if you're not going to be there, such as myself, DerbyNation.tv. Rent that shit. You can do it individual nights. It starts on Thursday night, usually 7 o'clock. They could adjust that to 6. I'm not sure.
Treat that shit like game night.
Yep.
Get you some wings, some pizza, maybe cook a steak, drink a beer.
I'm thinking ribs Saturday. Got a couple racks in the freezer. Because you're going to watch it Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday night,
Sunday morning.
Sunday championship. Sunday at noon.
Yeah. That's usually my morning.
Because usually Saturday is 2, 3 in the morning. Somewhere in there.
Oh, man, I wonder if Baby Dolls has got their lineup perfected for that.
Do you think Willie's going to drive in just to go to Baby Dolls?
He's got to do something with all that moldy-ass money.
I've seen him do some dumb shit before, and I mean, I'm not sure how far of a drive it is for him from Montana, but
You never know with that dude.
hell, he's such a roller right now, he might just fly in. Because I don't think he can take his boat all the way.
I know it keeps raining, he might be able to.
That is no shit.
But
Dude,
let's put a stamp on it.
yep.
We've got plenty to talk about
Oh, yes.
for next week.
Yes, we do. We have dudes. New sponsor.
Yep. We got to make
I
that
have to
commercial.
get off. Yeah, I got to find time to get a commercial out for him because he's still working on a little bit of stuff on his end for websites and Facebook pages and shit like that. But we'll put it out there. And he's
Gonna
on
get
board.
you all a little Dissy count.
He's been on board. He's going to be on board with us for the next year.
Yep.
And I didn't tell you. There's somebody else that's kind of maybe talking about it too.
Yeah,
So,
I actually got a phone call the other day.
Yep. So, dude, y'all are making some shit happen.
Yep, man. I'm telling you, t-shirts, triple B's,
Yes. Door wraps, roof signs. Fucking-
Justin Broadhead.
Dude, if you don't even derby and you just want some kick-ass stickers for your business to go on your fucking truck doors
Hit 'em
or
up.
windows, he can make that shit too.
Yeah,
I promise you.
and make it look good. And if you're looking for one of them there tanks,
That's right.
Fisher Built, baby.
Right on Facebook. Because Fisher Built now has 3 size options.
Yep. And
So
I'm
that
telling
means
you,
we're going to have to do another goddamn commercial for him.
and I'm telling you right now, I had that tank in my
I didn't even
car.
get to tell. I didn't even get to ask.
Loved it.
Flawless.
Yeah. I was a little dumb, but we got that sorted out real quick.
That happens on them bigger jobs.
Thread tape. Thread tape. People, I can't stress that enough. After pulling that fucking tank out 3 different times at Bristol. getting ready to pull on the track, and they're like, "What is that?" Like, that's fuel. I'm like, "Oh shit!"
Just a little thread tape.
Little thread tape.
And it's got to go the correct way, too, or it will pull right the fuck off.
Yeah. Well, I usually do it 3 times.
Right, left, and right.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Yeah. So, congratulations to everybody from last week. Wow.
And you better be a man if you buy one of them Fisher-built tanks, because they're not light.
Daddy didn't raise no bitch.
Especially you get about 13 gallon of fuel shoved up in that whore.
That's right. 8 pounds a gallon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That goes to about 100 pounds real fucking fast.
Everybody smelled like grape by the time we was done with that.
The old grapey grape.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think you're right. Stamp.
Yes, sir.
See everybody at Blizzard Bash. Got any last words?
Nope.
Make junk, boys. Fisher built. Fuel tanks are the next generation of fuel tanks on the demolition derby parts market to date. With stainless steel construction, every tank is internally welded, braced, baffled, and pressure tested, with 2 standard size options available.
Fisher-built tanks have you covered. From your local county fair shows all the way to your national level events, where you need maximum fuel capacity and structural integrity to get you to the end. If you are in need of a next level design tank, or you just need a second fuel tank for your new setup, give Fisher-Built a chance to earn your business. You won't be disappointed.